What's up guys, welcome back to my Battle Realms playthrough. My name is Alex and today we're facing the Lotus clan for the first time, which has always had a problem with Serpent Authority. The only way to protect my people is to completely wipe them out, leaving neither man nor mortar standing. I cannot fail, we're getting too close. So before we proceed to talk about the map, I'd really like to apologize for taking so long to upload a new video. There were some personal matters that I had to take care of before I went on with the walkthrough. At any rate, let's talk about the map itself. My worst nightmare has come to fruition because that map is as open as it can get. But my consolation is that I can build a town square which will give me the green light to build 2 extra watchtowers to my original one, and that will make it 3 in total. So for now the plan is pretty simple. I need to get moving to the middle of the map and build a base. After that, set up basic defenses and then build a town square. As for the watchtowers that will be at my disposal, one will be constructed north of the base, the second south of it, and the third in the middle. The idea is to cover as much weak points as I can. Plus, the one in the middle will be able to cover both the other watchtowers and the base itself. And that's what happens when you don't plan ahead and mercilessly waste your resources. I've sent all my peasants to build a target range, dismissing the fact that I need rice. And here is the result. Now I'm being forced to wait for more peasants to be generated to make up for this mistake instead of starting to train archers. Now I think we should have a word about things that happened in previous maps. For example, who was that guy that appeared in Kenji's flashback back in the end of episode 4? And what is that serpent orb that we kept hearing about? So that dude that appeared in Kenji's flashback is actually Kenji's brother, his older brother to be exact, and his name is Taro. The first time I played this game when I was a kid, I thought it was a younger Shinja for some reason. Probably because the game failed to explain who that is, and the only main characters you're familiar with at this point are Otomo and Shinja. Supposedly Taro is well known for his great swordsmanship because of triumphs he had over his opponents throughout battles he participated in. The only issue is that he is not really as good a swordsman as he brags to be, because he imbues his blade with some sort of magic to get an edge in battles, giving him an unfair advantage. To add oil to the fire, Kenji knows about his tricks and doesn't respect him at all for it. That's why you can see in the flashback that Kenji doesn't give that vibe of enjoying the presence of his brother. But then again, this attitude is true for all his family members, I guess. One more thing to know about Taro is that in this timeline he is dead. Now there is a specific reason I said timeline, because Greyback's journey is set out to be in a different timeline. It's not parallel to Kenji's journey or anything. And as it happens to be, Taro does live in Greyback's journey. So I didn't want to interrupt the flow of information, but meanwhile we had a first encounter with the Lotus clan. And I have no idea why they attacked their own base. Perhaps someone in the comment section can enlighten me. But what I can tell you is that the Lotus base starts from this point to the very corner of the map, southeast from my location. Now if you take a look at the map, at that patch of rice that is located south of my location, there are like levels of grounds east from there to the next patch of rice. My idea of beating the Lotus will be moving from level to level, breaking them down. Maybe by the time I get to the highest level, I'll build a second group to attack with and create a pincer move. I'm really sorry if all that sounded really confusing and unclear so far, but you'll have to see it in action to clear everything out. My idea of using Kenji to mess around with their peasants is to create the opportunity to earn some Yank points. to upgrade my archers and to start the carnage as soon as possible. Personally, I dislike using Kenji without him having any stamina, although he can still be effective. That is why I think getting him back to the base and send some archers instead is a safer course of action.
Certainly.
You can see the archers are struggling with hitting their targets with every arrow. That happens due to lack of range. In other words, I'm going to research arrow craftsmanship over Zen accuracy first to get an edge.
Target found.
Alright, so the reason I'm trying to prevent them from finishing building that well is because if they finish it, it will be harder for me to take it down later on. Oh, and by the way, do you remember me mentioning that I prefer using horses on a specific type of unit? I think I mentioned it in the 4th episode. Yeah, so meet the geisha again. So regarding the geisha, to train a geisha I need to build a bathhouse, and as you can see I already did. And I need to send a peasant there. I don't know what happens in that bathhouse, but somehow when I send a peasant, a male peasant as far as I know, a female comes out. How does it happen and what happens in that bathhouse is beyond me. And just know that you're getting a healer when you send a peasant. So you could see that 3 archers in enemy lines is not enough, because obviously they finished their well construction. And that means my firepower is not enough. So what I'm going to do is gradually add some more archers to that group until I think I'm ready enough to make a move towards their base.
Certainly.
But for now I'm keeping the Lotus occupied with mass murdering their peasants. That is the reason I'm not investing myself fully into finishing my base, and that includes the town square and the remaining 2 watchtowers.
It shall be. With bow in hand. Focused and steady.
Yes.
Of course.
Alright, so this is getting too messy and I should get my melee units out of the way because they can't be too helpful right now. And now is the time to raise some defenses to my base, so that I could live with my archers without worrying that I need to backtrack to my base again. And I'll start by building the town square first. Now the town square serves a few purposes, and the first one would be to further increase your rice and water capacity. And if you remember, at the beginning of this walkthrough I mentioned that there is another method to increase your capacity, and it's through hut building. I already mentioned that it enables you to build 2 extra watchtowers, and the third function is to faster generate your yin and yang points. I'm not really sure why, but the town square gives a bigger generation boost for the Dragon and the Lotus clan, while giving a smaller boost for the Wolf and Serpent clan. 50 and 25% respectively if you're interested in numbers.
Yes, sir.
So the south watchtower is done and I need to construct the middle one and mend them both. So one more thing to know about the geisha. She's really great for keeping your army alive and well, but when she doesn't have any battle gears researched for her, she's pretty much a dead weight. And why is that exactly? Well, because from the get-go she can only heal twice before her stamina depletes completely. But if you manage to research the art of massage, for example, she can heal continuously for 4 times. Plus, think of it that way. If you have more charges at your disposal and each charge consumes less stamina, that gives her a chance to regenerate stamina for more charges in between heals. That is why I might want to wait for her battle gear to be researched before I go on the offensive, so that my raiding party will be more efficient. Yeah, so it looks like I constructed my watchtowers just in time.
It shall be. Certainly.
Okay, moving, going.
This time I don't really need to be scared of being in range of a watchtower, since I have 2 geishas to cover me. So do you see these guys trying to avoid me? It's because they are most likely trying to circle around that small lake and attack me from the south unexpectedly. The good thing is that once I hit one of the units from their raiding party, the whole party will shift its direction towards the source of the damage. Now if I count right, I have 10 archers and 2 geishas, and this force can handle itself pretty well, and especially against the Lotus clan. And here comes the question of why are archers effective especially against Lotus clan units? Well, the answer is pretty simple. The thing is that the Lotus usually uses many tier 2 units, which are the infested ones. These are the guys that have maggots in their belly and attack you with them. The diseased ones, these are the guys that have that gas mask and some device on their backs that releases poisonous gas. And the third unit is the unclean one. These are the guys that throw some kind of black gunk at you, and they are ranged units. Now the common thing about all the aforementioned is that they cannot tolerate running. In other words, they can run for a few feet and have their stamina completely dried out. This forces them to walk slowly towards their target and be at the mercy of the ranged units from the opposing party.
Yes.
Dragon's Fire is not something that I really need right now, since I only have Dragon Warriors that can use them at this point. But I don't have anything to spend my Yang points on except for maybe Natural Healing.
Shall be.
Now Natural Healing costs 4 Yang points and it boosts the healing rate of your units when they are idle. For my taste, they are useful when you're not using geishas in your party and you're making stops in between your attacks to let your units to recuperate.
Yes. I follow.
So now you have a first look at the confusing explanation of levels from the east of the rice patch I mentioned before. Each level is a higher ground of its previous one, and each ground has more Lotus buildings. And you know how it's like in games that you move from level to level, and the higher the level the harder it is? Well, you can be damn sure that the highest ground here will be the most challenging one, and since it's on hard difficulty, I can expect a warm welcome from a master warlock there.
Ah, thank you. Focused and steady. Certainly.
I follow. Going. Yes.
So what I'm about to do now is start moving in a zigzag pattern between the ground platforms, with the hopes of leaving little room for escapees to make a run for it and build a base elsewhere. The thing is, on harder difficulties, peasants tend to scram from their main settlement and try to start another one elsewhere, and then they might catch you by surprise.
Right.
Okay, so after I'm done with this floor, the last floor awaits for me. And I have that feeling that they are cooking something for me. That is why I will go step by step without rushing, because remember that even though archers have many strengths, they do not lack weaknesses, and impatience can be one of them. I just realized that I was talking on and on about natural healing as a battle gear that costs
Yes.
4 yang points. I apologize, the actual name is meditation. And as for now, I lack 1 yang point to research it.
Going.
Certainly.
Yes.
My aim is true.
Moving.
Okay, and we are entering the last bastion of their forces now. So what I'll do now is place my archers in a semi-safe spot where they could snipe everyone until they get a hold of this spot.
My bow is strong.
Meanwhile, I'll see if I can get more units from my base to draw attention from the other side of the floor.
Lead, and I'll follow. Immediately. Done. Immediately.
I follow.
Well, I'm at the peak of my total unit capacity. I'll have Shinji and Atomo tag along, since it does not pose any threat in case one of them or even both die. But on the other hand, I do not want to get too reckless for nothing. And in case I won't see the last of them on this floor, at least I'll have 2 parties to search for the remaining forces.
Of course. Focused and steady.
So at this moment I just waste away the yank points I have because I don't have anything else to do with it.
Yes, sir. For the dragon.
Lead the way.
As you could see, the lack of geisha in my second party costed me an archer. So I'll just have 2 geishas tag along and increase their survival rate.
Done.
And here they demonstrated the lightning skill of the Lotus watchtower that I mentioned in an earlier episode. And you can see how deadly it can be. So it looks like I skipped a floor accidentally on my first run, but it's not a big deal, I'll have my second party cleared.
With bow in hand.
Peasants keep running across me and I think that they settled right here. I'll send Atomo's party to deal with them after I'm done
I
here.
have focus.
As you command.
On target. Done.
Of course. Moving.
With bow in hand. Certainly.
As you will. Of course.
With bow in hand.
Okay, so here's the problem. It seems like it takes longer than it should be because the archers didn't attack buildings at will all of a sudden for some reason. So I'm going to wait for the second party to clear the earlier floor and come from the other side. That way I won't have any problems with facing the warlock.
As you command. Of course.
I have focus. Focused and steady. Of course. I'm off.
Moving.
Lead the way.
Shall be.
So do you remember me mentioning that the Lotus clan has a unit named as the Unclean One that throws some kind of black gunk at you? Here it is.
I have focus. Certainly. I have focus.
Going. Lead the way.
And may I present the Warlock's Tower, where you let 2 regular Warlocks come in and get 1 Master Warlock come out.
As you will.
And the Master himself in the flesh. Now this dude can be really dangerous in some situations, because he can really be tanky for his respectful resistances, and both his ranged and melee attacks are really powerful. Plus, he has really nice battle gears that he can learn, and can even revive dead allies.
I follow. Moving. Lead the way.
Okay, so I'm done with all their floors. What's left now is to scout the map and see where they can hide.
Lead the way. I follow.
And as I thought, there is a peasant hut here that continuously sent peasants my way. So you see them standing like a cattle right there, but the only reason they are not building a new base is because this spot doesn't fit for it. Trust me, I tried. I managed to build only 1 peasant hut here in my last try and had trouble finding a clear area for a dojo. Okay, so this is it for them, I guess. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'm sorry it took so long to upload it and to finish the map itself, but levels will be a bit lengthy from this point on and I might edit the videos a little. But for now, thank you for watching and I'll see you guys on the next one.
Smoke from the dragon's spire.
I see it.
There's a village there. If the Lotus soldiers are pillaging that far south, they've already got Serpentholm.
It's not the Lotus clan. When the orb wakes, so does the dragon.
What?
He's telling us to hurry.
The dragon is telling us to hurry.
It's not called the Dragon Spire for nothing. Keep the men moving. We won't stop again tonight.